Hey yo, E-King Fight News back at it. Shout out to all the subscribers out there. And respect to y'all. Let's get it. Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Sports is about to announce some type of quote-unquote major U.S. network deal is what it was touted as. Eddie Hearn went out in recent media events, press conferences, fighter build-ups. He just had Danny Jacobs in a fight in New York, and he repeatedly confirmed that he was planning on coming to New York, and he's got a major announcement regarding a U.S. network that's gonna be, and it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna have all these promoters shaking in their boots. This is the type of rhetoric he said about this announcement, right? So details have now come out, and it's been revealed. Shout out to The Ring TV, ringtv.com. Shout out to Fanon's International Boxing. I checked his video out. Great source of information. And basically, Eddie Hearn plans on... He's made a deal with... to me, this is the first I've heard of it. It's a streaming service called DAZN. DAZN. It's spelled DAZN. And, they've made some moves earlier this year where they have exclusive broadcast rights to all of the NFL games in Canada. And they're basically gonna be replacing, I think they call it NFL Game Pass or some shit. So basically, if you're into NFL, this is right up your alley because they got all the NFL games, every single game. If you're heavy into gambling and whatnot, that may be the service for you. If you're heavy into boxing, I don't know about you, but if you're a real hardcore boxing fan, you would already know there are methods to watch any fight on any day. There are methods to watch Sky Sports and watch Eddie Hearn's big show on his UK channel. And it's not even really his UK channel, but it's a channel that works with Eddie Hearn the most. It's Sky Sports. And Eddie Hearn seems to think either the American or the Canadian network, whatever the case may be, basically any fan is willing to pay an extra $20 a month to watch Matchroom Sport centered fights that will be shown on this DAZN network. Now, Eddie Hearn, it looks like he's got a 4-year deal in place where every card he puts together is gonna have a 7-figure license fee. So let's call it $1 million. It could be more, it could be less, it could be more. They say at least 7 figures, so at least $1 million, right? Which, that's enough to do an ESPN Friday Night Fights. That's enough to do that kind of level show. It's enough to do, a PBC on a Friday night or a Thursday Night Fights type deal. Or a Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock fight card, Golden Boy on ESPN. That sounds like, $1 million, you could put something decent together, but if Eddie Hearn's gonna bring his whole roster except Anthony Joshua, who's the only one that brings in pay-per-views for him, if he's gonna bring his whole roster to the streaming service and he's expecting all these boxing fans out there to come out and roll with this streaming service, this dude is on some other crap. He's on some shit. He is on some. I mean, he's getting paid for his content. That's great. I mean, he's got a few fighters under his banner that have a big name. You know, he's got Scott Quigg. He's got James DeGale. James DeGale, who just beat Caleb Truax. Yeah, he's got James. He's got Kell Brook. He's got Amir Khans. He's got Dillian White. You know, he's got some decent names. But what I don't understand is the Americans, they can just watch Sky Sports if they really want to watch Eddie Hearn shit. I mean, I've been like, goddamn, you can just watch Sky Sports. I mean, I actually give Sky Sports credit. I prefer their broadcast over HBO any given day. I prefer the Sky Sports. I prefer to listen to Paulie Malignaggi, Johnny Nelson, the other dudes out there. They do a good job. They do a good job presenting the sport of boxing. So, no shade on them. But what is Eddie Hearn smoking? You know, he's calling this great major. And I thought this was an HBO deal. I thought, oh snap, Eddie Hearn's gonna bring back HBO. You know, back to prominence or some shit. But instead, he's gonna bring his fighters to a streaming service that costs an extra $20 a month. Shit. I stream anything. I stream everything. What the fuck? Why am I gonna pay for streaming? I don't know. Eddie Hearn. I don't know. Eddie Hearn is what it is. I mean, if they're gonna pay him $1 million to put James DeGale versus whoever, you know, top 5 filler opponent or top 10 filler opponent. I mean, it is what it is. I don't expect the UK fans. It has nothing to do with UK fans. I personally don't expect any major boxing fans to really buy into this. I mean, if you don't know about actually streaming fights without paying for it, then, I mean, you're just behind the curve, man. You're just behind the curve. That's what it is, man. E-King's Fight News. Let me know what you guys think. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel about Eddie Hearn's latest new venture. I mean, he's getting paid, so it is what it is, man. Let's check out the article real quick. See if there's anything worth mentioning. Alright, so Eddie Hearn set to announce major U.S. streaming partnership with DAZN. That's according to Ring TV. Shout out to them. Man, I really thought this would be an HBO deal. I mean, this is good news to me, because I thought, okay, he might do an HBO deal and it might fuck up the whole Joshua Wilder situation. Well, guess what? Now I don't have to worry about that shit. That's out the window. So, no excuses. No excuses right now. It's interesting because the Amir Khan fight, that was apparently available on ESPN Plus app. Right? So now, instead of... and it mentions that here. The development comes on the heels of a direct consumer app, ESPN Plus, which offers top-ranked stable of fighters in live fights for $4.99 a month. A very, very reasonable price point. ESPN launched the app last month and showed its first fight shortly thereafter with Amir Khan Philo Greco. 43 seconds of work for Amir Khan. That was a minor fight, but ESPN Plus is set to ramp up its offerings, starting with Terrence Crawford versus Jeff Horn. DAZN usually costs about $20 a month, but it's unclear at this time what the price point will be when it debuts stateside. For now, one thing is clear: Hearn is ready to flex his muscle in America with DAZN. I don't know, man. It is what it is. If they're paying him 7 figures to put fights on, I mean, honestly, is Eddie Hearn really gonna go out here and sign up PBC fighters, sign up Al Heyman's fighters? I mean, he's gotten one guy, one major American fighter in the past 12 months, legitimately, and that was Danny Jacobs, who took an offer I guess he couldn't refuse to go to HBO with a couple of fights. But I mean, shit, I don't see any fighters in line waiting to sign with Eddie Hearns. You know, I don't see these guys waiting in line to sign with Eddie Hearn. So We're just gonna have to wait and see, guys. We're just gonna have to wait and see. You know, yeah, license fees should help sign American fighters, but I mean, it's not like the major fighters. They're already making quite good money. They're making at least six figures already, and they're on their way to seven figures already. So do they really need Eddie Hearn and DAZN to help them out? I mean, and what kind of ratings is that going to bring? I mean, at the end of the day, that platform we're talking about here, its subscriber base needs to be widespread. And if it doesn't make it in the States, then what really is it for? I mean, that's where the money is. If he's hoping to buy up American fighters, put on fights between two Americans, guess what? Your network better do great ratings, or else the people won't know otherwise, right? Who's gonna pay attention? The real fucking boxing fans are the ones paying attention. And guess how they're watching it? Are they actually gonna, buy into DAZN? They might, but it might be for other reasons. It might be because, hey, NFL coverage is awesome. That might be the real reason, especially in Canada, because I would know. The basic cable over here, you get regular Fox. Normally it's Fox 29 out of Buffalo and shit. You get so you always watch a Buffalo Bills, and you get CBS, so you'll get the Patriots game and whatnot, and you'll get the Fox afternoon game. Normally that would be like the St. Louis Rams or the Cardinals or some shit. Packers, whatever, Giants, Dallas Cowboys. You get, whatever the marquee matchup is, it's normally what you get. But it's interesting, but I don't see how it's going to be a major success. It lines Eddie Hearn's pockets. That's what it does. And he's going to have to provide content. And we'll see if he can sign up some fighters and put cards together. I mean, at the end of the day, if he's putting great cards together, that's good for boxing. If he's not, then I don't see how the fans are going to buy into it. Especially if he's looking to market to boxing fans. And like I said, if you're really following boxing, there are many ways to watch fights live in HD quality that doesn't involve paying $20 a month. So, King Fight News. Let me know what you guys think. Smash the like button. It is what it is, guys.